Hi, it's Joey in the same way. Watching Echo, Season 1, Episode 5, Maya. This is the finale of this show. Very intrigued to see where it goes next. Thank you so much everyone who's watched this reactions with me. You can find the unedited versions on my Patreon, and let's go! Maya's episode time. Maya. Yeah. It fell by itself, did it, Maya, my love? I do believe you at your age. Is she gonna take that lesson to heart now? Her mum had magic hands, quite literally. A child probably thinks she's imagining it, or over time just thinks she imagined her mum had magic hands. I know it's the power they have passed through their family, but... And then all that goodness went out of her life.
Maybe.
He knows what she wants already.
We have a deal.
A lot of history, both in the sewing machine and in them. Life has not always been kind. Oh dear.
Please, let me help.
Oh, thank you.
Does she know who that is?
I've seen you around before. You here for... I keep it up now for my granddaughter.
Really? Well, tell me about her.
Her name's Maya. She's come in from New York.
Oh dear. Suppose even though Fisk has business in the area, people that aren't involved in it don't know about him enough to recognize him. You still have time to make better choices. Choices that will actually make you happy. I mean, the concept of that technology is fascinating and like brilliant in the sense that like it would enable a world of people who aren't able to speak sign language and people who are hard of hearing to actually talk to each other.
Chola should be here by now. Hey, Billy Jack.
Saying something to you. Message successfully received. Powerful men don't like it when you turn them down. Especially if they've been grooming you most of your life. What is happening? Is she actually seeing her? Because she deserves to heal and make right what she did in her life. Echo. I know, sometimes you cling on to pain because it's how you live. It's all you know. And you can be too. Not for power, but for people you love, to help people. She needed this. And when you lose people, you have to hold on to your love for them and the fact that they loved you. You've got this. You can turn things around. Oh God. She's here, alright. That is a hopefully good angle to scope them out without them seeing her, because they won't assume she'll be part of it so openly. These are your people, your family and community. Just very stressed. they in there?
There's some creepy guy here and he brought a whole bunch of no holos in and I don't know, man, they're up to no good, I know it. Listen, Biscuit.
It's about to get dangerous. Do you have a gun or a weapon?
A weapon?
You should not have a gun or a weapon.
I got something even better.
Oh god. They have a very complex history. In which he is the grooming aggressor. Does the sort of power only go down one side of the family? I just hope this, the power doesn't get stopped at all, that the event can go ahead without anyone else knowing about this. That has maybe just given him a reason to kill them. Did he kill her? We knew that. I was gonna say, was he gonna say he killed her mother too? That he was behind the hit. It's time to draw on all the strength of the generations. Let them echo through you. I love how they're all with her. So cool. Truly, the blood of their family and their ancestors is very special. I mean, I love the concept of the people you love being with you, being a part of you the whole way through, even without magical powers. I don't know if magic is the right word, but... God. Jesus Christ! They could, I mean, they could have jumped out and started shooting. I'm glad they didn't. Silencers don't actually silence guns all the way. This family is fighting back and protecting itself and its community.
Wait, what?
He could have moved in the time it took him to say, wait, what? She's finally beginning to... I mean, you can put off the grieving process so far. Like, you can just bottle up that grief and that pain and until you feed off it, and that's what she was doing, and now she's letting it in, accepting who she is and beginning to heal. It's a lesson you teach a child. She's actually trying to help him, to heal him. She's giving you a chance to begin your own healing process. Not that you deserve a chance, particularly. Maya is actually better than you. She does have a toning to do, but she is better.
What did you do?
What did she do? He's fleeing. Is he gonna leave her alone now? Surely he'll still come after her. Unless he'll be too afraid of her now. She's beginning to heal and let go of the pain. You never fully let go of it, but you have to let it in. You're always gonna feel that kind of pain. And it can sneak up on you sometimes. Her father also took a lot from her by taking her away. I know he took her with him. He kind of ruined any chance she had of a normal childhood and normal upbringing by bringing her further into his criminal dealings. Go to them. She better be going to them and not leaving. Wherever she chooses to make a home. Because she does have some atoning to do for her previous misdeeds, so she can do that by just being with her family and looking out for them, I think. I really wanted this for her. I don't think Kingpin's done with her, but I really wanted this for her. A lot of grief and pain all around. We can heal best together. You deserve this family, Maya. You made the right choices when it counted.
There are legitimate problems in the city right now, and the voters.
He's gonna run for mayor. Daredevil deal with him?
Still a window of opportunity. That's what the polls are telling us is.
Guessing that'll be Daredevil's issue, though I'm hoping if it is, Maya will help or team up with him at some point. But then I also just want Maya to be happy and get this second chance and get her family's life. But then I also, it's just so hard because she killed a lot of people. And I know that they were technically criminals. I don't believe she killed anyone who was innocent. But she did still take a lot of lives. So I wouldn't hate it if she showed up again to help in like a big showdown against Kingpin at some point to kind of truly cleanse her legacy of his stain. But at the same time, I also think she was a child who lost her mother, whose father ripped her from her family and took her to New York. Now, he had his reasons. The mother had been, it clearly wasn't safe there. Like, I think they said it was like they were trying to kill him because the brakes weren't working, so they were trying to kill him, and it was his family instead, or trying to send a message to him or something. So it was linked to his criminal dealings regardless. But he took her with him. He let Kingpin become close to her like an uncle. And then when he was killed, I don't think he would have dragged her into the crime life the way Kingpin did, but still. And again, that's not me demonizing her father. I don't think he was a great guy. I do think he loved Maya and was trying his best to be a good dad. And I think Kingpin believed he was doing it all for Maya but he didn't. He was doing it for himself, ensuring his legacy. Maybe he was sort of like, the fact that I have this one girl that I care about shows I'm a good person because look, I have a girl I care about. But ultimately, Maya chose the thing I wanted her to choose, which is her family. Both the legacy of all of it and the family that is now. And I think in a lot of ways, this show has been kind of about grieving and healing. Like, Maya, especially since her father died, but even with her mother's death and the grandmother, both, had just sort of put up this wall between them and their feelings. And just, if I ignore it, it's not real, I don't feel it, and it's fine. And that is not a healthy way to grieve. You don't actually grieve, you just put a block on it. And it makes you a much more upset, twisted person in the long run. I don't think anyone has the handle on how to deal with grief. It is an impossible thing to deal with. It lives with you forever. I think your capacity to deal with it, to be used to it, grows. You go from crying every day to it catching you by surprise sometimes. But I think we really saw that moment when Maya saw her mum and she said, basically let it out. Basically, like, you have to feel the pain in order to get through the pain. Just saying, nope, I'm not feeling it isn't going to actually help you heal. And she did. She let it in. But the pain made her stronger because the reason you feel that pain is because you loved the person you lost. You're in pain because of all the good memories you have. And yes, the good memories you will now never have, but it's because you loved them. Now, I, very openly on my channel, I'm an atheist, 100%. But what I kind of believe, on a personal level, is we live on in the people whose lives we touch. Now, I don't mean that in a literal sense, but what I mean is, so my nan is no longer with us. The love she poured into my mother and into me, the time she helped us with things, hugged us, cooked for us, was just a kind, lovely, wonderful woman. And my grandfather, but we're very women-centered in this, so I'm talking about my nan in this. That love helped shape my mum, and she then poured that love into me. So that part of my nan even is living in me. My mum was, when she was working, a primary school teacher. It's a different kind of love, but the love, the attention, the acceptance and warmth she was able to give those kids, because she's a fantastic teacher. Part of that is my nan's love that she poured into my mum, coming out through my mum into those kids. It now lives on in those kids, and if they pay it forward, obviously there are people you don't even know who have left an imprinted touch on your soul and your life's journey. Very soppy, I know, but that's kind of how I see it, and I can kind of see my views being like a real world interpretation of this kind of ancestors literally being through you. And by that same level, my great grandparents that I don't know, etc., are there. And it can also sadly be put in like the negative impact people can leave on your soul. Bad parents who hurt their children sometimes some of that can rub off on the children that come after. But we don't want to focus on that side of things. So I love that scene when Maya was able to speak to her mother in that moment when they were all with her, and then when she was all of them. Like, I think it just really, it struck a chord with something I believe in, obviously exemplified to a greater level, possibly actually tied into Choctaw like mythology. I'm not a huge expert on it. I've heard a few Native American myths, but I'm not a huge expert in them. So I really found that very powerful and very moving, and the idea that her mother was with her, with her grandmother, with Bonnie. And I love that Bonnie also was able to have the, I'm calling it magic because I don't know that they ever used the term for it, was able to use the magic as well. It really is just within the women in this family, but we also saw the men in the family standing up and fighting too, whether it was Biscuits, not particularly equipped for fighting, using his car to stop them, or the uncle magically silencing his gun so he could shoot someone in the head from a distance. I only kind of laugh because, again, like, I'm not an expert in guns, but I do know that silencers aren't actually silenced, so the people around him would have been like, he has a gun, and I just heard a faint gunshot. But I don't care because the powwow, this important day, was not spoiled, and that's what matters most to me, rather than realism in that sense. Now, I definitely think there will probably be some people who would be annoyed at this show because there wasn't as much action as they maybe hoped, or kind of the Kingpin thing just happened really quick, she just touched him and all that. Now, I think we will maybe see, I'm assuming Kingpin is going to be the villain in, at least a villain in Daredevil's new series. I wonder if we will see any ramifications of what Maya did, because he's very shaken. What did you do? Now we know she took him back to the root of his trauma. We know that she tried to get him to give her the hammer, and I think that was a metaphor for give her, like, stop resorting to violence and anger and start just accepting things, start processing and dealing with your grief. Don't resort to violence and control at every turn. So it's going to be interesting to see if there are any long-term consequences of that. I also wonder, surely he would still go after her? Or is he now going to be kind of unnerved by her because she, not only was she able to shoot him once, she's bested him with her magic hand, she turned him down, she made him look weak. I kind of feel like he has to keep sending people after her because she made him look weak, but then maybe everybody who knows that she made him look weak are dead. So he can just say, oh yeah, I got this fighting a shark. Yeah, I beat that shark when it got me eye. I don't know. I want Maya to be left alone, basically. I want Maya to be able to live and atone by loving, and atone by living each day in peace and helping people. Like, I think whatever vocation she were to choose, it would be one that passed on good rather than ill. And again, like I said, I'm not opposed to seeing Maya again. I really enjoy her character, and the fact that she ultimately made the choice I was hoping she would means I can finally say, like, I fully like her character. I love her. I mean, I want to see where she goes next if she keeps going to, like, she's not like a favorite yet, but I really, really enjoy her character in so many ways, and now it's also in the way of liking her, which is a huge plus. But no, just the strong line of women going down, going through, being there for each other. Like I said, it touched a chord with something that I believe in, that has helped me process my own grief. And just seeing Maya face that demon within her, face her fears, and bring protection and safety for the people she loved through a lot of violence, sure, but she protected them. Now, realistically, I think Maya would be looking over her shoulder for Kingpin unless what she did to him, she knows affected him in such a way that he won't come after her. Because I thought it was particularly important that even in that moment, she went in there and she wasn't lording it over him. She wasn't being like, this is all you are repeating the cycle, you have become your father to 1,000 other people, because it's the truth, it's what he's done. He killed his father to save his mother, but he's put 1,000 people through a similar situation. Like, he has become his father, but worse. I was kind of expecting it to be that kind of a path. I feel like in some ways confronting him with it and then showing him beating the man to death in front of, well, not to death, but in front of Maya, and like that kind of thing, both showed that he did love her, but also that he was continuing his father's cycle. I think there was an element of that, but she then went to, like, let it go, stop listening to him, give me the hammer. Like, she was being so much more grace. She had so much more grace. I was being so much more forgiving of him than I think he deserved, or than you maybe would expect her to. And I think that is what shows you that Maya really, she has taken that step of healing. She has taken that step of being a better person. And she's not just saying it, she's doing it. She's not just walking the walk, she's talking the talk. So important. So I wonder if there's almost a sense in her that she knows that struck a chord with him, and so he will not bother her again. Or I don't know. I just, it was so, this final episode has definitely been my favorite episode of the series. I know it was fairly short as series go and as episodes go, but I think it's my favorite just because we saw Maya finally face that pain that she's, in some ways, she's been running from ever since she was a little girl, partly because her father started her off running, but there have been points where she could have stopped herself. Points like when Bonnie reached out after his death, points out like when I imagine Bonnie has reached out a lot throughout the years. And like, I think it's interesting because Maya is not fully to blame. Her father made bad choices, her grandmother made bad choices, Kingpin made bad choices. But I also think the show doesn't fully let Maya off the hook for her own bad choices, but it also acknowledges where those choices stemmed from and gave her the chance to stop the path she was on in its tracks and choose a better one, a healthier one, a happier one. And the fact that she ended it with her grandmother, with Bonnie, with her uncle and her grandfather and her cousins, grandmother, and smiling and happy and looking at peace in the world for maybe properly for the first time since that car slammed into her and her mum, combined with the flashbacks of them and the bird. It was a lot. It was very, very well done. This was a very good episode of a very good show. Thank you. Blah, 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 blah. If you've listened this far, thank you very much. I never know if anyone actually listens to these rambles at the end, but I enjoy theorizing. Let me know if it's been confirmed either way, whether or not Maya is coming back, or if this is the end of her story. Let me know what you thought, obviously. Would you like to see her again? And in what capacity? I try not to read too many articles. Sometimes I do end up if I don't think they're going to be too spoilery, but I don't tend to like look into things, especially when I haven't finished the show. So I have no idea what's been said about the show or even how it was received. But yes, I loved it. Reminder that you can find the unedited versions of these reactions on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.